Hello lockdown defenders, I've never done a film session like this before, but last night I saw one of the worst defensive performances I've ever watched in a must-win playoff game. By my tracking, Luka gave up 41 points. No second efforts, no on-ball presence, constant breakdowns. I'm going to break down every play in order, no fancy graphics, no transitions, just a raw, honest film session. Hopefully we can all learn something from it and become better defenders because of it.
Man, oh man, what a defensive play. Tremendous defense. Wow.
All right, first play here, and it looks like they're trying to get Luka isolated on Randall here in the kind of short post area. Nice little shimmy jabs, goes right to his step back. Look at all that space he created with that one shimmy jab on Luka. You can see Luka's footwork here. Let's just look at it. I mean, he takes the jab and his feet don't even move, and Randall's taking an explosive dribble. His feet are still stuck in place. His first step is wide open hips. We talk about never opening your hips, and it just creates so much separation to get to that easy step back pull up. But don't worry, it will get worse. Here we go, Luka with the rebound, stripped away, 2 points here. Yeah, we'll go back into his defense in the next clip. Don't worry, there's plenty of clips to go over. Here we go, he's battling again in that short post area. Got a lot of glitching going on here with the film, but let's see if we can sort it out. Here we go, yes, face up here now at the 3-point line. Again, Randall's just gonna get him moving a little bit. Luka gets a little handsy, and you can see his first step is actually in the wrong direction. It's over here. His hips open up completely, and now we're just getting blown by to the rim. Forces help, and then of course the easy dump off to Rudy because that help needed to step up due to that blow by Luka. You can see we're already at 6 points, all 6 points being attributed to Luka here. You can see transition opportunity here. Luka matched up on Randall. Very flat-footed. It doesn't look like he's ready to move. Of course, he's got heavy gaps on both sides, but those gaps aren't enough for a straight blow by here by Randall, and the foul. Not off to a good start. Okay, now we're in a zone, probably to protect Luka a little bit. He's given up, the first 9 points in the game. You can see he's on the weak side over here. Quick swing, that means he's going to have to close out, take away 3 and bump. Unfortunately, his closeout is nowhere near taking away the shot, and not even containing the drive. You can see again here his base is way too wide. He's got no ability to push off and slide here because of how extended, and no positive shin angle. Again, just beat hip to hip again. He needs to open up. No help there. Now he's looking at his teammates like, where's my help? The true sign of a bad defender. Okay, here's Luka in transition. Just getting ducked in by Gobert. Not much he can do there, but again, Rudy makes one of those foul shots, and now Luka's given up 11 of the first 12 points. You can see they're really trying to isolate him in switches. They got him in the first switch. Now they're going to get him in the next pitch back switch. Not sure what the coverage is here. It looks like they don't want to switch it, which makes sense. But Luka's kind of, I guess, in a drop, but he's not recovering to his man at all. He's just kind of taking it like a switch. So I don't know if this is a coaching or coverage issue or just a Luka in pick and roll issue, but gives up the open 3. Again, they're really going at him here in the first quarter. Quick swing to Randall. Luka's on him. Luka's got a guard 2 here in the zone. Again, really tough spot for Luka. Not going to fault him too much on this one just because it is a tough spot. He's expecting maybe the center of the zone to rotate out to that corner. But, in a zone, hopefully you're playing the passing lane. You're trying to guard 2 as best you can. He just commits to 1 and leaves a wide open 3. No second effort. We'd like to see a little second effort, wouldn't we? Okay, here we go. Isolated on Edwards, and you can see Lakers aren't stupid. JJ Redick knows what he's dealing with here with Luka's defense, so they send a trap every time now that he's getting isolated, especially with Edwards. What I think is most shocking is Hachimura is doing a great job of trapping here, but Luka's not really helping this trap at all. He's just kind of not even a part of the trap. He's just kind of standing there, letting the four guys, I guess, rotate around him. So he's not a part of this trap at all. Because of that, the pass goes right through here. I mean, you would imagine if Luka was any bit of a player, he would be up in this trap, closing it, making that split pass difficult. He's staying all the way back here, allows this pass to come through, quick swing. Missed. We don't attribute any points to Luka, but that's kind of what you're dealing with on the defensive side now, needing the trap with those mismatches. Okay, you can see Luka on the weak side here, the low man. You can see he's thinking about going to help, which is technically his responsibility here, but just kind of pulls up last second here, sees the blow by. No help defense from Luka, and a team, the Lakers and JJ Redick, who's really emphasized that big help side position, especially when Edwards got the ball. That was big to their win in Game 3. Obviously, Luka, no effort here to stop Edwards' penetration. Okay, Luka, gets blocked here. Great defense by Naz Reid. So now we got a transition play. Luka's the only man back, but stays above the level of the deepest man. You can see here he lets Naz Reid get behind him. That's not a good idea in transition defense. Just speed versus speed. Just going to let the layup go in, not take a necessary foul. Naz Reid doesn't finish it, so we don't attribute any points to him. It leads to a kick-out three, which also doesn't go in. So we can't fault him on any points given up here, but definitely not the finest moment in transition defensive teaching. Okay, Luka on the weak side here. Looks like the Lakers back in a zone. This is a tough spot here. Luka's in no man's land in the zone. The center has to take the high post, and what we would expect is our wings to crack down on any dump-off passes in a classic 2-3 zone. LeBron is matched up here with Dante, so we would expect Luka. We don't need two people on Edwards without the ball, so we would expect Luka to be the crackdown here on Gobert. Of course, he's too high and out of position anyway, and so we just give up the 2-point layup dunk. Okay, they're hunting mismatches again. Luka gets switched on to Edwards. I would expect some variation, but they're sticking with the traps in the second half. They're going to switch and trap, so they send over the trap, seeing that Luka's isolated. Forces the extra pass. Another one. Great screening by Gobert. Air ball again, but just seeing with Luka on the floor getting exploited in mismatches, they're sending the trap, putting themselves in rotations. That Minnesota is not capitalizing. They missed a lot of open looks here that could have made this game much worse, but that's just part of what comes with having Luka on your defense. Here we go in transition. He's down here. Again, one of the first defenders back. Dante's just going to kind of run to the corner, and Luka's going to try and draw maybe an offensive foul. I'm not sure. Definitely a flop scenario here. Obviously on the ground now, and now it's a 5-on-4. Kick out to Dante because he tried to go for that flop. That three goes in. Film glitching there, but there it is again. All right, trying to end the second quarter before he gets a little back injury. Again, what are we going to do as Minnesota? We're going to exploit that mismatch. We're going to get Luka on Edwards, see what they do. Yes, they have to come with the trap again because we can't let that matchup happen. Okay, Luka's been doing a better job of engaging himself in the trap, which was the first point we made against him. But now, again, Lakers have to put themselves in rotation, so now we have to scramble 4-on-3. Dante's able to come up, I think, here. Nope, misses again. So we're seeing that these traps are actually working out in the Lakers' favor. But again, just emphasizing that that's what you got to do with Luka on your team. You got to mix up your defenses to protect him. This time Luka's in rotation. Now he gets a taste of what it feels like behind the trap. They trap Edwards here, end of the quarter. Rotation happens. Looks like it might be LeBron or Gabe Vincent needs to get out there. Both go. Luka should cover up here, I would assume. Take away the most dangerous pass, right? Take away the most dangerous pass first when we're looking at a trap, and then the most obvious. Luka kind of just stands in no man's man, not guarding anyone. Ball goes in, tries to contest, and instead gets posterized. Now we're in the second half. He's dealing with a little bit of a back tweak now, but he's already given up plenty of points. He was minus 11 in his minutes in the first half. So let's see how he does in the second half. We got a transition scenario here, trying to get back in front of Conley. Doesn't do a good job of that, just kind of rides him. Doesn't result to anything, but now he has to peel switch on the kick out drive. Again, he's going to try and go for an offensive charge here. It looks like another flop that doesn't result in anything but more points for Minnesota. Okay, now this is when the Timberwolves really isolate the matchup with Randle and Luka. You can see them here isolating it at the elbow, and I want you just to watch this clip here. Watch Luka's defense. Okay, I think that's the most concerning clip I've seen it, and it's because Luka guards pretty well here. I mean, Randle tries to get by him. Luka does a good job of using his body, sliding his feet, not opening his hips. Stands him up pretty good, no penetration given. But the fact that he just did that on this play in the halfway through the third quarter shows us, okay, is this truly a lack of footwork and technique and athleticism and stamina? Or is this just a result of effort? Because we just saw him do it here. Now, of course, Randle wasn't shaking or baking. He went one direction and committed to it. You know, in our drills that we do in the Lockdown Academy, that would be classified as level 1. We would expect we would be able to contain that drive as a level 1 defender. So Luka's able to do that. But this is just defensive effort we see from Luka in this play that we don't see the rest of the game. Okay, he's on the weak side here. Here comes the drive, and it's just always amazing how when he's on the weak side, he hardly ever moves, right? We saw him not step to help, and right now we already have a help defender, so we don't need to send 3. But at this point, we should be cheating out a little bit to a shooter. Instead, he stays in place, and now he has to contest late. Jump. I think it was a foul. They called it a non-foul upon review, making contact with the off shooting hand. But so no points there given up. Okay, now we're going deeper. They're trying to get this. This is a great action actually by the Timberwolves, just isolating Edwards and Randle, trying to make Luka guard an off-ball action. See what they do. They switch it here. They actually try and get Luka maybe on a backdoor cut with the high post catch. Luka covers it up, but now they just have an opportunity to isolate him with Edwards. You can see one quick jab, and Luka is far in the dust. He hasn't even slid or moved his feet at all. He just has a hard time taking these jab steps. He puts his base is way too wide, right? You can see this. A lot of early defenders make this mistake. They think the wider their base, the more ground they're covering. No, the less explosive you actually are. You have no ability to push off and move laterally in any meaningful way with a wide base like this. And he also doesn't move at all on some of these takes. Again, good help side, but Ant still gets it done because of how easy that blow by was probably. Again, Minnesota's just going back to that Randle-Luka combination. Randle just does a simple hang dribble, crossover, and he's already opened Luka's hips, gotten right by him. In case you thought one blow by was enough for a possession, no, we're going to get 2. Closeout on the back heels. Okay, way off balance, sitting way too deep in that stance. Now he's got no chance to explode laterally. Opens his hips again. 2 blow-bys, 1 play, and he gets the foul. Getting that switch on Edwards again, trying to isolate Luka and Edwards. Ant actually missed a lot of these step-back threes on him, but I think this time he does a little bit more. Yeah, he goes right to the hole, and nothing fancy, right? This is no counter move, no nothing. He just puts his head down, and Luka's hips are already side to side with him. There was not even a move that would open them, but they're open. He blows right by the gap and gets fouled. No fancy move there, just go. Okay, here we go again. Let's get Luka on Edwards. Let's see what happens. Lakers send the trap this time. I think they've seen enough of the mismatch hunting, so they send the trap. What we would like to see in any trap is Luka funnel it to the trapper, but instead Luka gets blown by as the trap's coming. So now Edwards got a full head of steam with no contact at all, so he can actually avoid the help defender rotating in. What we'd like to see in these cases, even if you're beat, you're not out of the play. Just ride the hip, stay hip to hip, and don't allow those comeback dribbles to avoid the help defender. Ant misses the layup, so we can't attribute any points to Luka, but definitely a tough defensive possession for him. Here he is on the weak side. Now they're isolating Reeves, right? Another matchup they found success with. Simple blow by here to get to, not a blow by, but definitely a paint touch. You can see Reeves' hips are a little bit open here, gets the separation. Again, though, Luka on the weak side, like as this ball's coming middle, we would expect a little bit of a cheat out. Unless this player is helping, which he's not, then maybe we would have to crack down. But as that ball comes middle, especially in a no middle system, we need to cheat out a little bit to get to these 2 3-point shooters. Luka doesn't move at all, doesn't even contest or give a hard stunt. And yeah, it doesn't result in a made basket, it results in an offensive rebound. And then LeBron kind of gets nicked up there on the scramble. So not all these plays are leading to scoring, but we're just highlighting the nuances that Luka is really hampering the Lakers defense and attributing a lot of success to the Minnesota offense. Here we go again. Let's isolate Randall at the elbow. Luka did last time lock this up pretty good, but this time, not so much. Randall gets right by him for the foul. Here we go again. Let's just give the ball to Randall. This matchup's working for us. Luka's backing up, trying not to give up a layup, which makes sense. That's probably how I would advise him too. He's got a lot of fundamental footwork stuff to work out and a lot of agility training to do. But he's at least backing up, not giving up a layup here. He gets hands, he goes for the steal. Don't want to reach if you're a level 1 defender. A little bit shake of a bake here. Boom, boom. Counter move. And he's left in the dust already on the side of him without really much of an attack. Randall unable to get it done though, but it does result in a foul, and because they're in the bonus because of how much they've been fouling, going to the foul line. Now, you know, is it really Luka's fault? Well, he did get beat pretty bad here. We did need to help and step. LeBron did get sucked in too, and that just leads to, you know, it's not Luka's fault. We should have boxed out. But that blow by does bring attention, and it is tough to then box out. And now, you know, we get a foul here that sends him to the line. This is a tough one. Semi-transition, kick out 3 for Dante. You know, it looks like LeBron maybe is the primary defender on Gobert here. But Luka's on the weak side. We would hope that Luka would box out at least one of these guys over here. LeBron is trying to box out Randall here. Luka's just going to stay on the outside of this play, though, and give up that putback slam. All right, back to isolating Luka, this time with Edwards. Are they going to send the trap? It looks like we're loading up, though. We're loading up. Here comes Ant. Gets pretty cleanly. Like, look how far Luka gets pushed back here. Looks like they're trying to peel switch maybe, which maybe is a good idea. Just send the gap defender, make him run out to the next one. Again, it leads to an open 3, but Minnesota was just unable to hit these open 3s this game. It does lead to a lot of offensive rebounds, but they were able to not convert those. Here we go again. They put Luka to start the play on Dante, but they just do a series of switches to get him back on Randall because that matchup's working so well. Luka is trying to fight to take away that catch. Doesn't ultimately take it away. Randall gets it. Baseline spin, hip to hip now. Just a power move. That is a tough matchup for Luka, and he is giving up lots of points here, just getting it burned in these isolations versus Randall. Every time, just opening his hips, getting blown by. Here we go. Let's isolate him again. You can see this is the Timberwolves offense. This is almost the entire end of the third and fourth quarter offense for Minnesota. Let's just get Luka on Randall or Edwards and see what happens. Edwards sizing Luka up. He's missed a couple step back threes on Luka, so this time he takes it to the hole, only up 3. Again, a simple little crossover here. I know it's Edwards, one of the best players in the league, especially two-way players. But that crossover step, I mean, you can see how far behind Luka is from the play now. Wide open drive, kick out 3, big clutch shot here, and it happens because Luka gets so blown by. They have to help from almost that strong side corner. And just to add insult to injury, I know the game's decided at this point, 7-point game with 20 seconds to go. But here we go, just to end the film room. We got Luka on the low side of the box out. Naz Reid, no effort from Luka, obviously, to end the game. Naz Reid just secures it to bring out the clock. What a way to end the game. If you want to go deeper into defense and make sure you don't have a performance like this, check out the Lockdown Academy, link in the bio, to get drills, breakdowns, and teaching tools as a player or coach. And if you enjoy these videos, I post new ones daily on X with NBA breakdowns and drills. Appreciate you watching. Keep up the hard work.